Well, it's now my honor to welcome to the podium our final speaker, Maria Contreras-Sweet. She's the 24th Administrator of the Small Business Administration. And as Wendy mentioned in her address, Administrator Contreras-Sweet has deep entrepreneurial roots. She founded the first Latino-formed commercial bank in California, where she focused on providing access to capital to small and mid-sized businesses. And she has also founded a venture capital firm that invested in small businesses. Please welcome SBA Administrator Maria Contreras-Sweet.
You all sound so serious right now. Come on. How's everybody doing? Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing me to, I was going to say break bread, but I think you already broke your bread and I haven't. So anyway, thank you for allowing me to be here with you today. I want to thank Mark for his introduction, but more importantly, I want to thank him for all that he's doing in providing us such valuable information each and every day that we can all use and put to good use, in fact. So thank you for your good, sage advice. I also wanted to thank Wendy for stepping up and for the leadership role that she's playing here at the Kauffman. All the work here is invaluable to the entire Kauffman team for everything that they do to undergird and to stimulate the important topic that we are discussing here today: entrepreneurship, innovation, firm and capital formation, both at home and abroad. In particular, the economic research that you provide is so valuable. It approaches the issues of our day through the prism of entrepreneurship. Your excellent panel today on Encore Entrepreneurs and Millennials is right on time and on point. Let me just say that during my time at the SBA, we've rolled out several initiatives to support each of these critical age groups. 1 in 4 Americans today, 1 in 4 between the ages of 44 and 70 say they're interested in starting a business. And more than half of millennials say the same thing. We have a partnership with AARP, and it's already trained and mentored over 300,000 Encore entrepreneurs. Encores, those who have already served their country and are coming back for a second act. Last November, on the opening day of the Kauffman Global Entrepreneurship Week, I announced a new SBA initiative to train millennials interested in starting a business. It includes a national tour of community colleges, and it also extends to our online outreach. We're enthusiastic about this project, and we are pressing forward in partnership with the White House's My Brother's Keeper initiative. No matter how old you are, one thing business owners all have in common, as I travel across the country, what they say is, they have a need for capital. In the case of millennials, who we know are underbanked, you need to meet them where they are, where they're seeking their financing. And where they are is, you know, online. The web helps them talk to their friends and find where they're going to meet to eat and to shop. We want the web to help them also find a lender. This is an important time for our small business economy. Entrepreneurs, we hear, are optimistic about the future. Business bankruptcies are quickly declining. Sole proprietorship income is rising. Our economy has added back all of the small business jobs lost in the recession, and then a whole lot more. But our credit markets have not recovered as fast as our job markets have. Currently, our small business loans are only about 90% where they were in 2008, a $38 billion shortfall for small businesses. When President Obama took office, SBA lending was suffering, as was the broader economy. We hit the nadir in fiscal year 2009. So the SBA has made some important changes, and those changes resulted in important progress. We empowered nonprofits to make SBA loans. We made them we launched a new program that we call Community Advantage, where we licensed more nonprofit lenders. We've been securing commitments from lenders to increase their small business activity. We've added 400 additional lenders, and we've signed them on to do SBA loans as well. We've eliminated fees, zeroed out fees on loans under $150,000 or less. We changed our eligibility rules and our credit scoring requirements to make it easier for entrepreneurs to access the SBA capital. As a result, I'm proud to share with you that these minor changes, yet significant changes, have dramatically affected our SBA lending, and we are now at an all-time high, resulting in $19.2 billion in loan guarantees last year alone. Our small dollar lending is up as well. We saw a 23% uptick over the last year on loans under $150,000. Now, I remember going through my confirmation process when I read an article that said that SBA loans weren't getting to women and minorities in particular. So this uptick is something that I'm particularly proud of. Now remember, this is the loan size that is sought by 4 out of 5 Hispanic and African American borrowers. That's why we see the uptick. During my tenure, I'm proud to report that our lending is up right now, 35% to African Americans, 20% to Hispanics, and 23% to women. Come on. Thank you. Meanwhile, the American economy is in the midst of 59 straight months of consecutive job growth. That's a first in American history. It's the longest streak by a mile. Of late, we've seen that the last 3 months of job growth was the highest in 17 years, and it is small business that is leading the way. We know that 2 out of 3 jobs is being created by the small business community. Last year, 7 million out of nearly 11 million jobs were created by small businesses. That's the good news. So yes, we have come a long way since the dark days of the recession, but I believe that all of us here can do more. In underserved communities, we were hit hardest by the downturn. It's still quite difficult to access credit. So the SBA, we sat down and we asked ourselves, if we believe that small businesses are the engine that powers the economy, then shouldn't we make it easier to fuel the tank? 80% of small business owners who seek a loan are turned down, according to some industry estimates. 90% of small business owners say it's too hard to access capital, as so we've heard from the small business majority. Many applications are never even filed because of the difficulty of getting an appointment with the loan officer. I know how difficult that journey can be. You've heard me tell my story. I immigrated from Mexico as a young person, and I had to learn English. I also had to learn the language of business. I saw my mother make great sacrifices, but she always said that someday, if I worked really hard, that someday I would be able to be a secretary and work in an office. Well, her prayers were answered, and so I do hold office, and I've been a cabinet secretary. Thank you. Thank you. But that's the beauty of America. It offers us such extraordinary social mobility and something that we want to continue to provoke. And so I was able to start 3 businesses. And again, no one gave me a playbook. So I took this job, I took this call, because I know what it is like to be out there without a lifeline. I wanted to share what I had learned along the way to help entrepreneurs succeed. I'm committed, personally committed, to building an SBA that levels the playing field. And that's why I'm here with you today. Not everyone has a rich uncle to help them finance their way through their journey of entrepreneurship, but through the SBA, they do have Uncle Sam. Each year, more than 250,000 people use our Find a Lender tool on SBA.gov. There's a hunger among entrepreneurs to find financing to get their businesses off the ground or to take the next step in their expansion plans. Small business owners pound pavement every day seeking capital. They're looking for term loans, equipment financing, lines of credit, invoice financing, and real estate loans to help them get liftoff, hire, and grow. But many times they're wasting their time because they're not getting responses to their cold calling and their door knocking. And they still wait for a lucky break. And they're hopeful, but they haven't gotten it yet. So we have to be there to respond, and I want to say that help is on its way. It doesn't have to be this way. You've heard me say that SBA, under my term, will stand for Smart, Bold, and Accessible. It's a tagline I've created, but I want you to know that there's some significance behind it. Our agency needs to be smarter. SMART represents smart systems that we have to put in place so that we are as nimble and quick as the entrepreneurs that we're serving are. We want to make certain that we're harnessing the power of those smart systems, the power of that technology, to help entrepreneurs navigate through the new global marketplace. We're being bold by thinking outside the box for a government agency and opening new markets for small business owners, part of the supply chain, part of the corporate government contracting that we do, as well as the international markets where we find 95% of the world's consumers. And we're being accessible to small business owners from new demographics, providing them the tools to succeed. To this end, I came here today to share something that we're launching today. It's a new SBA initiative that we call LINK. It stands for Leveraging Infrastructure and Retooling for Capital. This LINK, with a C, of course, because it stands for capital. Ladies and gentlemen, today, SBA is entering the online matching business. Only the date we're arranging is with a lender. Online services that pair lenders with borrowers now make up a multi-billion-dollar industry. We've all seen the TV commercials where the home buyer goes online and is delighted to find banks competing to finance her house. Well, small business lending is the newest frontier for these matchmaking services. Technology is helping commercial lenders find new customers, and it's helping entrepreneurs find loan officers who are eager to sit down and to talk. The SBA not only supports this concept, we're implementing it. Effective today, LINK will bring entrepreneurs and SBA lenders together. So if you go to sba.gov and LINK actually links from our home page, you'll be able to navigate through it to be introduced to a lender. We've spent months last year surveying our lending partners to discern what information they need before they're ready to receive a loan pitch. Based on those talks, we developed a simple online form. It has 20 questions, but I did say simple questions, and it takes minutes to complete. Once you complete and submit the form, it's sent to participating lenders in our country, as well as to financial institutions with a statewide or national reach. A positive hit won't ensure that you'll get the loan, but it will put you on a fast track because lenders will have pre-screened your application and affirmatively reached out to you. If LINK doesn't produce an immediate match, we'll connect you with our local SBA office advisor for loan consulting. This is how technology can help government evolve in the 21st century and address 21st century problems. This is what good government should be about, being responsive and nimble. It's about creating a virtual public square where people can convene and collaborate with each other. LINK will expand borrowing options beyond your local bank. The SBA is virtualizing what happens every day when a borrower walks into a bank to transact business. And we're providing these services, yes, I did say this, at no cost. This may be the first time the federal government has ever used online matchmaking to help Americans get a date with the lender. It's part of SBA's commitment to modernize, so we're as innovative as the small businesses we serve. We're rolling out LINK in 2 waves. First, we're going to start connecting Main Street business owners with our nonprofit mission partners. We have LINK lenders standing by in all 50 states, including the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico. Combined, since 2009, these lenders have already made 42,000 loans totaling more than $17 billion. These are experienced lenders. Later this year, we do plan, however, to add the conventional banks into the LINK system, and they're already expressing great interest. This is part of our robust modernization agenda at the SBA. This spring, and I hope you're also following this initiative, we'll be rolling out what we call SBA One, which is the total automation of the SBA loan application. As a banker, I can tell you that every time I asked one of my bankers to underwrite a SBA loan, we knew the importance and the value of the underwriting, but we also knew that it was another application in addition to our own to complete and to help the client navigate through. So this technology will have it all go online and only populates the questions that they need to complete. It's like TurboTax for small business lending and signals the end of our reliance on, yes, fax machines and paper. The future is upon us, and the SBA is proud to be a part of that journey. I want to thank publicly the Capital Access team for how hard they've worked since I've arrived to put this program into place, and need I say our web services team has been incredible. Thank yous to them from the bottom of my heart. Also, I want to encourage each and every one of you to try it. I want you to experience it so that you can be disciples of change out there for us. So if you'll indulge me, I hope that you'll go to sba.gov and check out the new link. And of course, like entrepreneurs, I'm also now tweeting. And so if you want to follow me on MCS4Biz, let me know what you think. I'm interested in knowing and learning from your experiences. So I want to say to you that I started off by saying smart, bold, and accessible was a tagline. But in fact, it's more than a tagline for us. It's a strong, serious, programmatic agenda. We're going to continue to make more announcements in the months ahead as we modernize the SBA to meet the needs of the 21st century. But we want to make certain that we are leveling the playing field. When we have so many of our uniformed people who are coming back home and transitioning, I want to make certain that when they get there through our transition program that we call Boots to Business, and then they get to the point where they're ready to start their business, that those who served our country deserve serious consideration for a loan. I want to make certain that women who no longer have, in many instances, the choice of whether they work or not, that they have access to capital. I want to know that people who are African American, Hispanic, Native, and Asian are all able to access capital. And so many times there is this sense of prejudice when you walk into an institution. I don't know how many of you watch The Voice, but I really like that show because they sing and then the judges turn around to see who they are. It's a very powerful program. It's not about what you look like. It shouldn't matter that way in lending either. And unfortunately, we've experienced the contrary. So this program will help match people based on their qualifications and not on their color or their age or their sexual preference. This is a very empowering tool. And so while I said that I heard the article in this important newspaper say that loans were not getting to everybody, this program will help get to everybody so we continue the uptick that I referenced earlier before. We just experienced the passage of the Civil Rights Act, the 50th anniversary recently, and I remember one of my favorite quotes from Martin Luther King, and I don't know how many of you watched Selma, but it was a quote that was repeated there. But Martin Luther King said, "What good is it to be able to sit at an integrated counter if you can't afford to buy the hamburger?" With the SBA, we're not going to go back to buy the hamburger. We can go in and buy the restaurant. Thank you so much for listening to me today and for supporting SBA. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Administrator Contreras-Sweet, for your remarks and for all the SBA is doing. And it was really exciting to hear about the new news of the LINK program. That concludes our program. I want to thank everyone for spending some time with us this afternoon. I know your time is valuable. And I want to thank our speakers and panelists for thought-provoking discussion. Stay on top of what the Kauffman Foundation is doing. Visit our website and sign up for our news updates. And we hope to see you again next year. Thank you so much.